right?
You're becoming a regular.
Yeah, I've become a regular. And I think, like, you know, I think the fans are starting to expect a bit of Mikey. And for that reason, I want to make a proposition to Keelan, Ruben, Luke, and Lewis, and the fans, the listeners, and I think it'd be great if we could all get around this.
Yep.
I think it's about time we change the name of the show. I think instead of Luke and Lewis, and bear with me, I think a better name for the show at this point would be something like Mike and Friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I think because, you know, if the show's called Luke and Lewis, you don't know that Mike's going to be there. If the show's called Mike and Friends, you know that Mike might be there, but sometimes it'll just be his friends, Luke and Lewis.
But I think the consistency of the show is at least usually either Lewis or I are there. So Luke and Lewis is still the consistent part.
And that's
so maybe Luke and Lewis and friends.
No.
Because I would say you're the friend that we're throwing a bone. You've got a podcast that's a little bit smaller. This is great for you, man.
You're misunderstanding.
A lot of exposure here. He's got a spin-off YouTube channel. Ruben doing his best.
We've got our own podcast. Excuse.
They've got their exclusive
on
podcast.
our Patreon. People pay me so you can do your podcast.
Radio Mike episode coming out next week.
You'd probably do better just doing your own podcast.
You should have
not
just
on their Patreon.
You should have just literally made your own platform, and it would be more successful.
It's not good enough for that.
No, let's just do that.
And I'm glad we agree on something.
Luke,
Let's film on their time and then upload to our own channel.
Luke, I think you're missing the point because you're saying that the Luke and Lewis are the constant parts,
Yes.
and that's exactly why the name Mike and Friends is so apt, because you might get Mike, but most of the time you'll get his friends. You'll
but
get
Mike-
Keelan, Ruben.
If it's
Luke,
Mike and
Lewis.
friends, Mike needs to be the constant.
No, it doesn't. That's where you're missing the point. The friends are the constant.
How about
you're all my friends, and I'm Mike, and I might be there,
Sure.
but otherwise I'll get my friends to be there.
Well, I think
How about Friends and Mike?
friends and Mike is better.
Friends and Mike is probably better.
Yeah.
Friends
What
and
about
Mike.
Luke and Lewis, and then in brackets, and maybe Mike if there's a worldwide pandemic?
I really think my name
Or
should
if
be
Luke's
the
on the
main
Gold
name
Coast.
in the show. I think it should be Friends and Mike is a good compromise. You guys are my friends. You do this show. Sometimes Mike's here.
Right.
And you know what? If we do
Hang on.
change-
We're not. This is not a mutiny.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry,
No.
Luke, if we do change the name to Friends and Mike, I'll make sure both of you get a lot of speaking time on the show, because that's I
You'll
think that's
regret
what-
that.
Can I
As
negotiate
a-
my guest appearances?
Yeah.
Can I have a guest appearance once a month?
I mean, we'll
Hey,
talk. We'll
hey.
talk. It's the friend. It'll be Friends and Mike.
Everyone, shut the fuck up. This is not your podcast.
think-
You're discussing a hypothetical podcast which will never come to
Yeah,
surface because there won't be an audience.
You've got
for it.
100% of the workforce plus 100% of your guest.
I think that
just
we'll also start.
fighting against
We'll
you right
start
now.
bringing in some of my friends outside of radio. So we'll just bring in a couple of my high school friends, a bunch of my friends, like just childhood friends, just so we're
Wait,
really getting the
That's
friends
good.
and
Do you
mine.
reckon we should have Luke on?
No, I mean Luke's definitely in the friend. It will be Luke and Lewis will definitely be there, but it'll be a rotating thing of my friends.
I've
and
had
Mike.
Luke on my show. He's not a great guest.
I've had him on mine.
Are you kidding me? This is what Keelan does on his show. He does it so I'm on every episode so he can put featuring Luke Kidgel in the title. If I'm not even on, he'll just FaceTime me and be like, hey, anyway, man, see ya. He hangs up on me and then writes featuring Luke Kidgel.